Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Yeah, well, we're here. It's another episode of Coffee and Contemplation. Yeah. Ooh, that's not COVID, trust me. Another episode of Coffee and Contemplation. I'm your host, Old Heart, a.k.a. Jared, a.k.a. this noise machine right here. Yes, I hope you've been doing well since the last time you heard the sounds of my luxuriously beautiful voice. Yes, you can thank the new equipment I bought myself, pat myself on the back, because you didn't do anything for me, dear listeners. It's not like you paid me to record this shit, you just listened to it. And that's fine. I like myself a good hot dog, and you hot dogs have been great. And it's for you. This applause is for you. You rotten, weird, curvatured hot dogs. Yeah, I don't know. Are you sweating? Were you sweating in this last week? Then you're a sweaty hot dog, all right? Hey, good on you. Yeah, maybe I just got off work. I have a little momentum, you know. Boom bap. I drank my 2 o'clock smoothie. It was fucking delicious. That's right. That's the kind of shit that happens when you're in your 30s. You drink smoothies at 2 o'clock to get that vitamin boost. But either way, I'm here, you're here, so we might as well talk about what the title says we're going to talk about. And that, dear friends, is actually intellectual disabilities. I know. You don't know that much about it, or maybe you do. Kudos to you. Either way, I hopped online and I followed the specialolympics.org link, and it sent me to the page with some information about intellectual disabilities, and I thought I'd pass that along. Intellectual disability is a term used when a person has certain limitations in cognitive functioning and skills, including communication, social, and self-care skills. A lot of times, these issues, these boundaries and limitations will be brought forth in childhood, or these limitations can cause a child to develop and learn more slowly and differently than a typical developing child. And so a lot of times that's when you'll see it. These things will manifest before 18, for instance. Intellectual disabilities can happen anytime before a child turns 18, even before birth. 3 kind of identifying categories according to the American Association of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. 3 categories that would apply to an individual that has an intellectual disability is they have an IQ below 70 to 75. There are significant limitations in 2 or more adaptive areas. These are skills that are needed to live, work, and play in the community, again, such as communication and self-care. And number 3, the condition manifests itself before the age of 18. So how does an individual get an intellectual disability? These can be caused by injuries, disease, problems in the brain. For many, it says it right here on the specialolympics.org website, for many children, the cause of their intellectual disability is unknown. So, some causes of intellectual disabilities like Down syndrome, fetal alcohol syndrome, Fragile X syndrome, birth defects, and infections can happen before birth. That's usually something that's going on while the baby is gestating, if you will. What are some common causes? According to specialolympics.org, the most common causes of intellectual disabilities are things including genetic conditions, complications during pregnancy, problems during birth, being exposed to diseases and toxins. Diseases like whooping cough, the measles, meningitis can cause intellectual disabilities, according to SpecialOlympics.org. They can also be caused by extreme malnutrition, not getting important medical care, or by being exposed to poisons like lead or mercury. How common are intellectual disabilities? Just to put it like this, approximately 6.5 million people in the United States have an intellectual disability. That's approximately across the globe 1 to 3% of the global population has an intellectual disability. Upwards of, or as many as, 200 million people. So you know, I'm sure that you know somebody with an intellectual disability. Like, no joke. Like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, that shit. Intellectual disabilities is significantly more common in low-income countries. The United Nations Development Program estimates that 80% of all people with disabilities live in low-income countries. While people with disabilities represent approximately 1 in 10 people worldwide, they are 1 in every 5 in the world's poorest regions. So, shit. Shoutouts to the people at the Special Olympics, man. Making people happy. Shoutouts to you hot dogs doing your thing. Get on Instagram, follow us at Old Heart Radio, follow us on Twitter at Old Heart in Space, and do yourself a favor and just follow us on Spotify and iTunes, I guess. God, I'm bad at shoutouts. Anyway, let's talk about some intellectual disabilities. As mentioned before, Fragile X is an intellectual disability. It is a genetic disorder that affects a person's development, especially that person's behavior and ability to learn. When I was a caregiver, I had multiple clients. It's weird. I don't know what to call them because they're really good people. I enjoyed being around them, but I guess I was being paid to do it at the same time. Clients who had Fragile X. And it was difficult communicating with them because, you know, I can remember one of the guys who was nonverbal, and you had to really interpret his body movements and kind of his gestures and where he would lead you sometimes. And he was a great, happy, awesome individual to be around. Really, enjoyed my work. He actually, participated in the Special Olympics. And anyway, it's just sometimes you gotta learn how to communicate because, like with Fragile X, it can very much affect communication skills, physical appearance, and sensitivity to noise, light, and sort of, things like that. Fragile X is the most common form of inherited intellectual and developmental disability. And people with Fragile X may not always have noticeable symptoms, but sometimes they can. They can sometimes, like I said, it affects your physical appearance sometimes in a way where, perhaps, certain body parts are bigger, whatever. What causes Fragile X? This comes from it results from a change or a mutation in the Fragile X mental retardation 1 gene, which is found on the X chromosome. That gene normally makes a protein called Fragile X mental retardation protein, or FMRP. This protein is important for creating and maintaining connections between the cells in the brains and the nervous system. So it really helps to keep that information superhighway running. Not everybody with the mutated FRM1 gene has symptoms of Fragile X syndrome because the body may still be able to make the Fragile X mental retardation protein, FMRP. Severity of symptoms does depend on how much of the protein the body can make and the number of cells affected. It says on the SpecialOlympics.org website, please note that females, due to having 2 X chromosomes, can usually make at least some of the FMRP. Therefore, symptoms of Fragile X are often milder in females than in males. About 1 in 4,000 males and 1 in 8,000 females have Fragile X syndrome. Let's talk about Down syndrome. Down syndrome. I knew one of the coolest motherfuckers. He had Down syndrome. I met him while I was a caregiver, and I would make breakfast in the mornings, and sometimes he would come down in his awesome Elvis Presley suit and do Elvis Presley impersonations because he loved that motherfucker. Anyway, Down syndrome is the term for a set of cognitive and physical symptoms that can result from having an extra copy and part of a copy of chromosome 21. Down syndrome is the most frequent chromosomal cause of mild to moderate intellectual disability, and it occurs in all ethnic and economic groups. Down syndrome is caused by a random error in cell division that results in the presence of an extra copy of chromosome 21. Usually when one cell divides into two, all pairs of chromosomes are split so that one pair goes to one cell and the other goes to the other cell. But in rare cases, both chromosomes from a pair go together in one cell. Most of the time, the error occurs at random during the formation of an egg or sperm. No action by parents or environmental factor is known to cause Down syndrome. Let's see, in more than 90% of cases, the extra copy of chromosome 21 comes from the mother in the egg. In about 4% of cases, the father provides the extra copy of chromosome 21 through the sperm. In the remaining cases, the error occurs after fertilization of the embryo as the embryo grows. What are some symptoms related to Down syndrome? Decreased or poor muscle tone, short neck with excessive skin at the back of the neck, flattened facial profile or nose, small head, ears, and mouth, upward slanting eyes, often with a skin fold that comes out of the upper eyelid or covers the inner corner of the eye, single crease across the palm of the hand, deep groove between the first and second toe. Physical development in children with Down syndrome is often slower than the development of children without Down syndrome. For example, because of poor muscle tone, a child with Down syndrome may be slow to learn to turn over, sit, stand, and walk. Despite these delays, children with Down syndrome can learn to participate in physical exercise and similar activities like other children. You're goddamn right. Anyway, intellectual and developmental symptoms of Down syndrome include some of these common cognitive and behavioral problems may include short attention span, poor judgment, impulsive behavior, slow learning, delayed language, and speech development. Like I said, man, I knew a really awesome fucking human being with Down syndrome. I've known many. I appreciate that Special Olympics website. That's so fucking helpful. Use your brain for good every single day, because I know a lot of people out there, in the world, somewhere around 200 million people perhaps, also try to use their brain for good every single day. Don't underappreciate that shit. Ripen up that coconut as best as you can, because why? Keep your stick on the ice.